Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Gray, the High Tech Traveler, and today I'm doing a smartphone camera shootout between the new Huawei Mate 10 Pro and the HTC U11 Plus. As I've done in my most recent smartphone shootouts, I'm recording everything in this video on these two devices. So keep an eye on the bottom left-hand corner to see which device is being used for the video. This should give you a good idea of what the video quality is that you can get out of these two smartphones and also the audio quality while recording. The Huawei Mate 10 Pro has two cameras on the back, the main one featuring a 12 megapixel sensor with optical image stabilization, while the second one is a 20 megapixel monochrome sensor for absorbing more light. Both have f1.6 lenses, phase detect autofocus, and laser autofocus. When we flip things over to the front, we have an 8 megapixel sensor with an f2.0 lens. Another thing to note is that the Mate 10 Pro also has a portrait mode with its single front-facing camera, something that Huawei introduced with the P10 way before Google did with the Pixel 2. When it comes to video recording, the front-facing camera here can record 1080p video, while the cameras on the back can record full 4K at 30 frames per second. The main camera on the back of the HTC U11 Plus features a 12 megapixel sensor with an f1.7 lens, phase detect autofocus, and optical image stabilization. And when you flip things over to the front, you also get an 8 megapixel sensor with an f2.0 lens, the same setup as what you get on the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. And like Huawei's phone, the front-facing camera also records 1080p video, while the rear-facing camera can record full 4K. And now that I've sufficiently bored you with all the specs of these two phones, let's take a look at some side-by-side comparisons to see how these two cameras perform in the real world. One other thing that Huawei's enabled with the dual lens system on the back of the Mate 10 Pro is to use the wide aperture system while recording video as well. As you can see, my face should be in focus while the background should be blurred out. The effect isn't quite as good as what you get in photos, but it's a nice added touch. As you can see in these examples, both smartphone cameras are really good, and choosing a winner between these two actually comes down more to personal preference rather than performance. They both perform really well in daylight shots, but the U11 Plus does a little bit better with white balance. And I did notice that the Mate 10 Pro does have a little bit of over sharpening in all of its shots. In low light situations, the Mate 10 Pro keeps the highlights in check a lot better than the HTC U11 Plus does. But on the other hand, the U11 Plus does bring out a lot more detail in the shadows, which is lost in the Mate 10 Pro. As for the front-facing camera, I think the HTC U11 Plus delivers much better photos and videos in daylight and nighttime shots. And having that wider angle lens makes a big difference when you're trying to include you and the background in your shots. Based on what you've seen in this video, what's your take on the Huawei Mate 10 Pro's camera versus the HTC U11 Plus? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got a lot more Huawei Mate 10 Pro videos in the works. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.